Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce myself. My name is Syabatul Aslamia from English Department, Dr. Sutomo University. Today, I would like to presentation my literary analysis of The Old Man and the Sea novels by Ernest Hemingway. The first is Ernest Hemingway biography. Ernest Hemingway, born on 21 July in Cicero. So he died on 2 July in Ketchum, Idaho, US. He began work as a journalist after high school. He was wounded while serving as an ambulance driver in World War I. One of a well-known group of expatriate writers in Paris, he soon embarked on a life of travel, skiing, fishing, and hunting that will be reflected in his work. His story collection In Our Time was followed by the novel The Sun Also Rises. So later novels include A Farewell to Arm and To Have and Have Not. So his lifelong love for Spain, including a fascination with bullfighting, led to his working as a correspondent during the Spanish Civil War, which resulted in the novel From Whom the Bell Tolls. So other short story collection include Man Without Man, Winner Take Nothing, and The Fifth Column. And he lived primarily in Cuba from 1640. The local of his novella, The Old Man and the Sea. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1954. He left Cuba shortly after its 1959 revolution. A year later, depressed and ill, he shot himself. The succinct and concentrated prose style of his early work strongly influenced many British and American writers for decades. The summary: the main character is an old Cuban fisherman named Santiago who doesn't catch any fish for 84 days. The family of his student, Manolin, had forced the boy to leave the old fisherman. So Manolin continued to support him with food and bait. Santiago is a mentor to the boy who values the old man and the life lesson he teach. Convinced that his luck had to change, Santiago took his boat deep into the deep waters of the Gulf Stream, where he soon caught a giant marlin. So with all his experience and immense strength, he fought with the fish for 3 days, admiring his strength, dignity, and loyalty to his identity. His destiny is as true as Santiago's as a fisherman. He finally rolled up the marlin and tied it to his boat. However, Santiago's effort is vain. The shark is attracted to the tethered marlin, and although Santiago managed to kill a few, the shark eats the fish, leaving only the skeleton. After returning to the port, a distraught Santiago goes to his house to sleep. Meanwhile, other people saw the skeleton tied to his boat and were amazed. A concerned Manolin is relieved to find Santiago alive, and the two agree to go fishing together. So now we're going to the literary analysis of the novels. The first analysis is theme. The first theme is about friendship. Prominent theme, friendship between human beings and amongst the writer's non-human animal worlds paints the length of the novel. The most important human relationship is that between Santiago and his young pupils and fellow fisherman Manolin. The boy cares deeply for Santiago, often berating himself for not doing more to take care of him. They share a passion for baseball, something that helps sustain Santiago while he's at sea. The second theme, there is pride. Pride is often displayed as negative attribute that causes people to itch for too much and as a result suffer a terrible fail. After he kills the first shark, Santiago, who knows he killed the marlin for pride, wonders if the sin of pride was responsible for the shark attack because pride caused him to go out into the ocean beyond the usual boundaries that fishermen observe. The third theme, there is man and nature. Since The Old Man and the Sea is the story of a man's struggle against a marlin, it is tempting to see the novella as depicting man's struggle against nature. In fact, through Santiago, the novel explores man's relationship with nature. He thinks of the flying fish as his friend and speaks with a warbler to pass the time. The sea is dangerous with its shark and potentially treacherous weather, but it also sustains him by providing food in the form of dolphin and shrimp. Finally, Santiago does not just see the marlin as an adversary, he loves it as brother. The second analysis is setting. Broadly speaking, the setting of the novel can be divided into two parts. At the beginning and the end of the story takes place in a small Cuba fishing village located near Havana. His main business is fishing. Hemingway lived in Cuba for several years to gain sufficient knowledge of the place described The Old Man and the Sea. In the middle of the story, it relates to the Gulf Stream waves that bring giant marlin fish in September and October. During the course of the novel, the setting also becomes symbolic. As the sea represents the total universe, again humanity represented by Santiago. The third analysis is character and characterization. The first character, there is the old man as Santiago. By personality, Santiago is an expert fisherman, skilled and conscientious. Santiago is brave, confident, cheerful, determined, and optimistic. He doesn't let anything in life thrill her. So the author described the character of Santiago's character who doesn't want to bother other people. Then he will also not reject the kindness of others. The second character, they are Manolin. Manolin is a young boy and a close friend of Santiago. He used to work alongside the old man, helping him on his skiff, but was moved to another boat when he unlucky struck a period to not be letting up. Manolin assistants Santiago when he can and carrying his gear. Finding him dinner, the boy often steals and begs in order to feed Santiago and find bait for his next day of fishing. He is kind, thoughtful, and as interested in fishing and baseball as Santiago is. He has faith that Santiago will break his streak. When Santiago returns to land after his day at sea, Manolin once again cares for him. The third character is Martin. Martin is a good character. His kindness is shown through his generosity. His kindness is shown through his generosity when Martin goes to find Santiago something to eat. Martin gives him 2 dinners and drinks. The fourth character is Perico. He serves an important role in the story, a villager who gives Santiago a newspaper to read. It was from this publication that he followed baseball. The old man then gave Perico the head of the marlin. The fifth character is Rogelio. Rogelio is another man in the village who treats Santiago well. He sometimes helps the elderly with fishing nets. It was from, I'm sorry. So the next character, there is fisherman. Other fishermen in the novel are briefly mentioned. They represent a series of emotional connection to Santiago's poverty and the plight of the unlucky fisherman for 84 days. They pity him in secret but try to remain optimistic or neutral in his prison. Some people treated him as if he had not suffered through this period or strife. The next character, there is Marlin. Marlin is a fish that is 1,000 pounds 80 feet and followed Santiago for more than 3 days at sea. It was a beautiful creature with shimmering colors along its sides and a large rock. Through Santiago's narrative, the reader understands the first as a majestic, strong, and precious brother to mankind. The next character is Manolin's parent. They are doubtful to the old man because the old man cannot catch a single fish after 84 days sailing in the sea. They prohibit their son Manolin to fish again with the old man. The next character is Tiburon as a shark. Tiburon is an antagonist character. The fish causes a big conflict experienced by the main character. Various species of a shark, such as the shovel-nosed shark and the mackerel, track Santiago's boat by following the marlin's bloody trail. They attracted the small boat, ripping off pieces of fish. Santiago fight the shark and managed to kill some of them. They ended up eating the whole marlin, leaving only the head, tail, skeleton, and sword. The last character, there is a tourist and the waiters. The tourist and the waiters, there are 2 characters as the last that appear at the very end of the story. The tourist is a woman. Ernest Hemingway described her as a person who thinks the remains of the marlin caught by Santiago are those of a shark, while the waiters is the one who answer what had happened to the marlin instead of explain who has the spine. and he gives the writer misinterpretation. The next analysis is symbolism. The first symbolism, C. According to Hemingway, humans are best able to prove themselves worthy of isolation. The sea in the novel represents the universe and Santiago's isolation in the universe. At sea, unaided and without recognition, Santiago faced his ultimate challenge. The novel in this case is an example of naturalism in literature. The second symbolism is Marlin. Marlin represents the ultimate opponent, one of the best in Santiago. The next symbolism is shark. Santiago considered the shark best as a predatory animal, unworthy of glorification, and they represent a destructive force in life that has no purpose. The next symbolists, they are Joe DiMaggio. Santiago considered Joe DiMaggio invisible. He symbolizes the unwavering desire of the human soul. DiMaggio, at the time the book was written, was suffering from the bone spurs, which the novel mentioned. Despite the difficulties, DiMaggio overcame his opponent, just as Santiago overcame his opponent despite the injury. The next symbolist is lion. Santiago dreamed of the lion of the African coast 3 times. They represent virility and youth. The image of the lion at the end of the novel represents the hope of eternal life. So the next symbolist is pole. The pillar is an obvious allusion to the cross of Jesus. On his boat, on which the mast stands, Santiago suffered. Santiago suffered at sea for 3 days with painful injuries to his palm and back. And the last symbolist is Manolin. Santiago's young friend represents hope, although Manolin's father forbids him to fish with Santiago, who is believed to the curse. Manolin never leaves him emotionally. However, it can be said that when Santiago goes fishing, he has no hope. A line without fish for 84 days profits. So the last analysis, there is moral values. The first moral value in this novel is persevere and never give up. Even though he was old and living alone, Santiago, as the old fisherman was called, remained firm. Even once accident kept happening to him, he also doesn't care. During his 84 days at sea, he didn't catch a single fish, but he still diligently goes to sea every day. He was also optimistic, and as it turned out, his effort paid off. Finally, after a long time of trying, he got a fish, even a giant fish. In a sense, when we have a clear goal, we will not easily waver and give up. The second moral value is keep faith and hope. The single greatest source of energy for survival is faith. Either believe in God or believe in yourself. Santiago in The Old Man and the Sea also has faith that never withers. First, he was sure he could go fishing. Second, he also believes that God is always with his efforts. And the third, believe that when he has a good or goal, the universe will also support him to achieve it. The third moral value is in life testing is a necessity. Santiago's ordeal never succeed. Starting from not getting fish, being looked at, I'm sorry, Santiago's ordeal never subsided, starting from not getting fish, being laughed at, even until finally getting fish back. They still get a test, so are our life. The next moral value is happy and sad always come and go. After 84 days of not getting any fish, finally on the 85th day, they managed to get a fish. The fish he got was not half-hearted, a giant marlin. Unfortunately, 1,000 year, his dream of bringing home a big fish had to be dashed when the fish meat he was carrying ran out, becoming food for the shark. Even so, he still came home happy. His generosity is extraordinary. And the last moral value is always prepare something from scratch. In the midst of his struggle against a horde of hungry sharks, Santiago laments his lack of preparation before going to sea. In the end, he could only speculate, if only I had brought this and that in preparation, and furious if maybe so. Regret is always stifling, yes, therefore good preparation will really help us to overcome any bad possibilities. Until here, my presentation, and thank you.